Alarming figures show how much plastic is dropping on Auckland, how many kids are running away from New Zealand's youth justice homes, and caught in a sticky situation. Fulton Hogan forced to apologise over newly laid section of State Highway 1. Te Maria, I'm Sherry Kinnear, and these are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. Concerns about the high levels of airborne microplastics Aucklanders are being exposed to. Studies show 74 metric tonnes are falling out of the atmosphere into the city annually, with wind and waves helping send them from ocean to atmosphere. That's the equivalent of 3 million plastic bottles. It's also found particles could potentially enter cells, cross the blood-brain barrier and build up in organs such as the liver and brain. Study leader Dr. Joel Rindleb says the long-term health impacts are still a mystery.
We're very much in the data gathering stage, so more research is needed to understand what potential health impacts this could have.
There's been a spike in the number of kids running away from New Zealand's youth justice homes. Our newsroom can reveal absconding events have more than doubled in recent times, with about 200 more in the last financial year. Between 2020 and 2021, there were 87 absconding incidents from non-secure community homes, jumping to 206 the following year. Corrections Minister Calvin Davis says these young people aren't locked up behind bars, and absconders could just be people missing a curfew. But National claims it reflects a system that doesn't effectively hold offenders to account. New Zealand stepping up its message to the regime in Iran with harsher penalties targeted at those at the top. Travel bans have been announced against officials linked to the death of Mahsa Amini in September and the violent response to protests that continue. An initial tranche of 22 people will be banned from entering or travelling through New Zealand. Foreign Minister Nanaia Mahuta says they are those involved in human rights violations and the suppression of protest. Fulton Hogan's apologising after travellers heading south from Wellsford to Warkworth at the weekend found a newly laid section of State Highway 1 was peeling off and sticking to their cars. Waka Kotahi says recent resealing work in the area fell short of expectations and needs to be rectified. National Party Transport spokesperson Simeon Brown says it's another example of the poor quality of our roads.
The state of our highways across New Zealand, people are saying, are a joke. There's potholes peppering our highways. The state of the tar seal going down is becoming worse and worse.
And more grim news for supermarket shoppers. The average price at which grocery suppliers charge supermarkets went up by just over 10% in November. An Infometrics survey found there were 7,800 items which had increased in cost, nearly 3 times as many as November 2019. And those are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. For more stories and to stay up to date, head to nzherald.co.nz. Kia pai te rā. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.